Alright gang, welcome back to our Island Preservation Challenge here on Ronida Island. It is December, and surprisingly enough, we've got more than I expected to be ready today. This field here, the green beans field, is ready to harvest. For whatever reason, we're having issues again with trying to get a worker to do anything on this field. It's unfortunate. We'll have to do it ourselves. And then obviously, as you can clearly tell, the knife field is ready to harvest, which I thought it was going to be the following month, to be fair. It did not happen. It is actually ready to go this month, so we're going to get that one done as well. Ideally, I guess I probably should have waited to drill this field here, but as I mentioned, we really don't have the money anyway to move the sheep right now for what I'm wanting to do. So in my eyes, I don't really think it makes that big of a difference. We'll do one more harvest on both these fields, and then we can modify the fields here as I mentioned before, right? So we're going to get started here with the cotton first and foremost, and then we've got the worker already doing oilseed radish on that field there. You can see them in the distance there. I'm going to do the first edge here because the worker does seem to have an issue with this fence that I put in, so I'm going to do the first edge here, and then we'll kind of put this on our worker and we'll get started over there on the green bean field. Now, you'll see something probably in the distance here that I have put in off camera. There are actually a number of things that I have done off camera that you will learn about here very quickly, but the first two, you're going to see them very soon. You're probably familiar with them, if you watched the Can You Survive 25 series that was going on, and it's currently on a bit of a hiatus, a bit of a break. But I've used those in that series. They are extremely useful. They're extremely helpful. I decided to put those down to help us out with the greenhouses. Now, to be fair, we only have 2 greenhouses right now, so those 2 windmills there can easily support those 2 greenhouses. I probably could have just put 1 down and it would have been fine, but I decided to put 2 down. What we basically did was we kind of connected them to the water trough that feeds the cows there. So it was a very easy access point, and then now that will kind of ship the water, or send the water rather, to anything that requires water on the farm. And in this case, really the only things we have right now that require water are the greenhouses that we put in the last episode. So it's going to help us out tremendously without having to go and run water to them every other episode or every 3 episodes, whatever it is. So it's going to help us out a lot. We'll probably kind of continue to run those down the edge there of where the cows are hanging out at. There's a decent amount of grass there. It's just kind of wasted space, so we might as well do something with that space. And those are honestly the most ideal situation for it. So I decided to throw them in. Cost about $3,000 a piece. And they are extremely useful. The way that it works is the wind. It's a wind-generated production where the wind spins the little windmill, and that actually helps send the water, or transport the water, rather, through pipes into the greenhouses. So I don't have to go and do it manually, right? Very, very helpful for us. And, yeah, we'll see how things go. Now, that's not the only thing I've done. We have $18,000 in the bank, so clearly I've done some other things as well. Some of those things are stuff that I talked about in the last episode. More specifically, I leased a sapling planter, and I planted saplings. And I will show those to you here in a little bit. I'm going to get a worker started here in just a second. So I will show those to you here in a little bit. We put 50 down. We still have, sorry, gang, hit the microphone. We still have a pallet of 10 just sitting there hanging around. I decided to put oak in the ground. I decided to put oak in the ground. Maybe it's not exactly the most ideal for the island here, but we decided to put oak in. Oak is a very formidable tree that lives in and around the Midwest. More specifically, it's very heavy in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, etc. So I wanted to bring a little bit of home here to the Island Preservation Challenge. So that's what we did. So we've got oak going in the ground, not oak with a K. So yeah. Excited to see those. Now, it's going to take a long time for those to grow up. I don't even know if they're actually going to be fully grown by the time the series ends or not, just given what Krusty went through the competitive one-tile challenge. I don't remember how long it takes for oak trees, rather, to be fully grown and ready, but I guess we'll figure that out as we move along here. The worker is going to run into issues again here. I'm just going to keep an eye on the worker here for just a second because I want to see what's going on here. I have no idea what the worker's doing. Evidently the worker thinks I missed something here. I don't really know what I would have missed. I don't see it actually picking anything up. I don't know what it thought I missed, but now it looks like it's going back to its normal thing. Alright. So we'll keep going here with the green beans. Actually, I need to lower this back down. Now, the good thing about this is the green beans are actually best to harvest right now, best to sell, excuse me, about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. So the actual price for them is still pretty decent. To be fair, the price of the green beans doesn't really fluctuate all that much. It's relatively, flatlined for the most of the year. It's about 100 or so, maybe 200 at most difference. Not really too concerned about $100 or $200. So we're going to sell the green beans today, which will be a nice little payday for us, right? That'll help replenish some of this money that we spent off camera, just to help progress the series here a little bit more. So hopefully these two, the last episode and this one, hopefully these changes are helping to allow you to see a little bit more work being done, and maybe hopefully move the series along a little bit faster for you, because I know that a lot of you were saying that is the one thing you would like to see from the series, because I did ask for some feedback, was for the series to move along a little bit quicker than it has. Totally get it. Still in the mindset, in my opinion, that I don't mind it taking longer, but I totally get the point of, even if it's taking that long and you're not making a whole lot of progress, then it kind of gets a little bit repetitive and redundant to watch. I get that. So we're going to fix that. So, and we've already kind of begun to do that. So we're going to get around the headland here, and then I'm going to show you the saplings we put in really quick. And, and I'll kind of go over there and show you the windmill water distributors as well. They're really, really awesome. That's a great mod. If you haven't used it before, I highly recommend it. The mod itself is called the Water Pump with Distribution, or Water Pump with Distribution mod. That's what it's called. They're $3,000, very inexpensive, and they work like a charm, man. They're fantastic. So extremely helpful for a series where you have a lot of things, a lot of productions rather, or a lot of greenhouses, or a lot of things that require water. It is so helpful to have one of those, or multiple of those, for that matter. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're doing well. Doing the best I can, given everything we've talked about over many, many episodes now at this point. All right, so let's just take a pause right here, and let's go and take a look at the saplings. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's do a quick autosave. I'm going to jump to the sawmill. Speaking of that sawmill, we are almost out of trees in there. As you can see, we have just slightly under 13,000 liters of trees in there, but we have tons of planks, wood beams, among numerous other things, right? Decent amount of wood chips, too, which we can go and sell. I think the wood chips are today or maybe even the next month. I don't remember, but regardless, it's nice to have those as a little bit of extra here. So, I am inside pallets. That went well. Let me try this again. It's going to do the same thing, but I almost got out of it there. Nope, not that. All right, there we go. As you can clearly tell, lots and lots of stuff out there for us. Here's the remainder of our saplings. We've got 10 in here. Like I said, I planted 50 of them. I'm not going to go through and show you all 50, but you're just going to have to trust me. But anyway, you can kind of see all the saplings that have been planted here. Now, my vision for this is, my goal here is, and if I see, the further I go up, you can't really see them. But anyway, they're all here. I promise they're all here. You can see multiples of them kind of scattered around. But anyway, my goal here is to kind of make a bit of a tree tunnel, as I like to call them, right? And so we drive down, the middle of this or whatever. You can kind of see them on the left and right there in the screen. So we drive down this area here through a tree tunnel, and then eventually come out to, this bridge that we're going to put across to here, right? And then over to the house, right? Lots of trees are already on this island. I don't really have any plans to remove any of the trees on the island. I'm not sure if we'll add any more. I probably won't. I think there's plenty on here. I don't really think there's a reason to, but my goal here is to just kind of build a bit of a mini forest here on the way into the house, so that way we have a bit of a tree tunnel on the way there. I kind of like that idea. I understand that the side of the hillside here, where the trees already are, is going to become a little bit more sparse as we move along, but I'm okay with that. We'll kind of, like I said, we're gonna plant them over here, and it'll be all good to go for me. We'll just build a bit of a mini forest here, or whatever you want to call it, on the way to the house. So that's the plan. That's the goal, and we'll see how that goes. All of that goes, at least. But yeah, just wanted to show it to you. Again, I mean, at some point we'll probably show the saplings being put into the ground there, but I'm going to be doing a lot more off camera as we move along here just to help speed things along. So that was one of the things we did this time. Now, greenhouses, right? They're doing great. As you can see, there's plenty of water in there. We're really not going to have to worry about water for a while on these now, since I have those windmill generators, right? They don't produce any money, by the way, the windmill generators. I want to make sure I clarify that you don't get any money with those windmill generators. They are literally only there to help distribute water. That's the whole purpose of them. They don't do anything else but distribute water. So I just want to make sure that was relatively clear. Now, the greenhouses themselves, like what I was getting ready to talk about, we got a decent amount out of them already, right? And like I said, we're going to sell those. So we've got nothing in storage. They're just still spawning them, but there are some that have spawned. And the melons and the watermelons, I think they're both around the same price right now. Let me just make sure before I 100% confirm that. Yeah, so the melons are selling for about $9.13. They are going up, and as you can see, the price doesn't really fluctuate all that much. And if we go to the watermelons, it's going to be a very similar situation there as well. So the watermelons will have, I think it's a little bit more of a modification there, but not much. $9.30. Actually, the watermelons are right now. How about that? I stand corrected. But my point was that the fluctuation of the watermelon is a little bit more, $7.29 to $9.30, but it's still not that bad in my eyes. So we'll probably sell those whenever we need them, more so than just waiting for the best price on those, right? Well, like I said, we're going to sell some of them today. Whatever we have, we're going to sell those today. But, you know, it won't always... We're not going to sell them every single episode, I'm going to tell you that much. But we're not going to be sitting there waiting around for the best price on those. Those are literally going to be a very similar situation to the crickets. Whenever we need money, we're going to sell them. No chickens have put in the second pen yet. No chickens at all, but we will do that soon. I'm going to hold off on doing that until we get some more wheat to put in the ground there. Now it is December. If you recall, we have a little bit of sorghum over there that can go and can be sold. I think it's going to be best here in December. We'll take a peek at that now. That's the next thing we're going to take a peek at. So sorghum, well, we probably should wait till January. So we'll wait till January on the sorghum. And then the corn, I think the corn is not anywhere now. Well, I guess January is not bad either. Yeah, we might sell the corn in January too, which is just one small little pallet of corn. There's not much there. So, yeah, we'll probably sell both of those in January. So that'll be nice to get a little bit more of a payday there. The other nice thing to come around is that, you know, we're going to get all of the cotton from harvesting that knife field. We'll put that into one of Grandma's knitwear, get that back up and running again, and we're going to continue down this process of having quite a number of clothes ready to go for us come April and May, right? That is going to produce a lot of money for us. That is hopefully going to allow us to buy quite a number of fields with it, and maybe do some equipment upgrades as well, right? Possibly begin working on the bridge across for the house, possibly. I know some people have mentioned in the comments, and you're correct, that, you know, the house isn't necessarily something that needs to be worried about right now. It'd be better off utilizing, you know, the money to kind of expand further. And you're correct, right? You're probably right. But I do kind of in the background on the side a little bit, not putting a bunch of effort into it, but I do want to at least potentially get that started. So we'll see. But, you know, the problem really becomes the getting across to the island, right? That becomes the problem, because that takes a lot of money. It's not a cheap endeavor to do that, right? So I think it really depends on how much money we make from the clothes here, how many fields we can buy, and how many fields we feel comfortable buying right now, and if we want to potentially make any kind of equipment upgrades or not. There are a few I think would be probably justified and realistically we probably should consider doing. But it really depends how much money we get, right? I don't know what I don't know right now, and I don't know exactly how many pallets of clothes we're going to get. I would expect it to be a decent amount, but I don't know what I don't know, right? So we'll wait until that time happens, and we'll figure it out at that point. I need to take a drink, gang. I'm rambled along for 15 minutes here. Now, as far as everything else goes, everything's doing well. Looks like this field is probably going to be ready to harvest next month, which is another cotton field, which is great. That means we'll have more, you know, that we can put in for Grandma's knitwear, which means more clothes, which means more money, right? Love to see that. The last episode, we kind of took care of this coastal cotton field, our first coastal cotton field, right? With that, we actually got our very first non-experimental field. This was our first field that actually was fully 100% fertilized, well, 97% fertilized, as much as we can get given what we have fertilized. Now we have our first cotton field that was fully fertilized. Again, 97%, but I'm going to call it fully fertilized. Which is really exciting. We don't have enough slurry to do another field, but we do have plenty of manure. We need to figure out... Excuse me, gang. We need to figure out something for the manure. In other words, we need to figure out some kind of machine we're going to use, a manure spreader, whatever it may be. We need to find something. We don't have anything yet. That is really probably the most, the highest needed piece of equipment right now. We don't have the money for it right now. We could have had the money for it realistically if we didn't put down those greenhouses, but I really did want to put the greenhouses down for multiple reasons, to help alleviate some of the strain on the money and the resources, and to help progress the series a little bit quicker. The manure is definitely going to help overall, but it's not going to immediately help progress the series. It's going to be a situation where you put it down on the field, and then you got to wait for the field to be ready to harvest, and then turn that into a byproduct before it's really going to, see the fruits of the labor of that, right? So the greenhouses are more of a immediate income upgrade, if you will, right? So that will come very, very soon. We'll have plenty of manure when the time does come, I can tell you that. We got 45,000 liters of manure in there. There's 11,000 liters of slurry, which, again, it's not bad. That's a decent amount of slurry. It's probably enough to cover this small field here again, but I don't think it's going to be enough to cover, well, I can almost tell you, guarantee you, it's not going to be enough to cover the knife field up there. Or even the field over there that we have the worker doing the oilseed radish on. Now, to be fair, we do have at least a month before the knife field, at least a month, if not more, probably more, before the knife field will essentially be, ready for that slurry. Because we've got to get the oilseed radish down, let it grow for a month, and then plow that up, and then we can put it down, right? For right now, that is our best approach to get 100% or 97% fertilized fields, right? That is the best approach for us, is to continue on the oilseed radish and then do the slurry on top of it, or the manure, once the time comes that we can actually do the manure, of course. All right, so we're going to unload a pallet there. I'm going to unload another one, as a matter of fact. Now, these are already in the pallet form. I'm not even going to worry about those at all, for that matter. I'm not going to worry about them at all from putting them into the palletizer. We'll just grab the autoload trailer, come over here, pick them up, and we can go sell them. We've got a bunch of sorghum already sitting over there on the outside of the palletizer, as you can see, along with the ones that we have over here. All of those will be taken care of, like I said, next month in January. I still like the idea. I know I can just turn it on, distribute it in the palletizer, and a lot of you mentioned that, and you're correct. That was, I should have known better than to ask that question. But regardless, you all correctly pointed out that the reason why they are spawning constantly is because I don't have them on distributing. I guess the only negative with that would be is if we did have some kind of a production, and for whatever reason, I'm not saying this would ever happen, but for whatever reason we had a crop or whatever that we didn't want to send to that production that can accept it, then, that would be probably the problem with putting it on distributing for the palletizer, because it would distribute it to that production, and we didn't really want it to, right? So I think, honestly, for me personally, and I've kind of said this from the beginning, since we finally started utilizing that palletizer, I still think I want to do a silo for a lot of the crops here, and then only take the crops out when we want to put them into a pallet and sell them. That way we prevent that from happening. Right now, not a big deal, because we don't have anything that's going to be doing that. But I would just assume eventually down the line here, we're probably going to put some kind of mods in where, there's two different mods, and both the mods can do, a specific type of thing for a specific type of crop, and we're really looking for it to do one thing, and that could become a bit of an issue, right? If you have other ideas besides that, maybe I shouldn't ask this, maybe it's obvious, but if you have other ideas besides that, let me know. But I think the silo is still the way to go for me personally. talking about the upgrades that I talked about a little bit ago, once we get enough money, really, the upgrades are the manure spreader. Hopefully we get one before the clothes are all sold, but regardless, the manure spreader. The slurry spreader did appear in the last episode to be a lot wider than it actually says it is, but it's fine. It is what it is. But the slurry spreader we have doesn't really hold a whole lot. Now, it does have the option to do so. You can turn on an unrealistic setting for it as far as the storage goes. I'm not quite sure we'll do that, but it's there if we decide to. And the trailer, like the crop trailer, if we're going to go the silo approach, we definitely, I think, need a bigger one than that. The big problem is we're probably going to have to keep that one or one similar to that for the TMR. It is very hard to get into that TMR drop to get the TMR unloaded into a trailer. And if we get a bigger one than that, I don't think it's going to work. We almost can't fit through there with the trailer we currently have, right? So that might end up becoming just a dedicated TMR trailer at some point down the line. That is definitely an upgrade I think we need to do as a trailer. Ideally, probably a semi and a trailer is the way to go here. But again, that's future tense here. That's the next 4 or 5 in-game months here. We've got to wait till April, May, right? Used market, anything out there for us? There is a skid steer. We have used this a long time ago, but we used this in the Vintage Survival Series. Loved it. I absolutely loved it. We've got autoload now, so I'm not quite sure we really need that. I think the only reason we would need that is for, maybe the TMR we were just talking about, or, moving some other things around for animal feed and things of that nature. I don't really know what else we would really need that for. I would love to have it just because I love this thing. I think this thing is an absolute amazing piece of old machinery. I'm just not quite sure what we would use it for. This, however, is probably going to be very, very useful for us. We don't really have the money for that right now, but we are going to need, we're absolutely going to need a mower here very, very soon. We have chewed through all of the grass that is available in the silage stick to us now. So we are going to need to start mowing some grass. Now, to be fair, right now we don't really have any major grass to mow. There's a little bit maybe on the side of the hill we could possibly do. And then I guess we could mow for the time being the area over there by the sawmill, right? We could mow that area, I suppose, and maybe that's what we do for the time being. But eventually, we are going to need to start to sort out an area that is going to be a grass field. Now, that grass field may sit stagnant for a while, or we kind of alternate it, right? We turn it into a grass field, we do some mowing of that, and then we put it back into a regular crop once we get the grass off it, and we're done with that, right? That's also another option, another idea that we could go down. And that's probably the smartest way to go down. But, eventually, when we have all of these different plots of land, right, we're not going to be farming every single one of them. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're not. We're just simply not. So, we can just go to one of those plots that isn't going to be farmed and just mow that field, right? There's so many on this map, right? To be fair, that would be a lot of more driving that we maybe don't necessarily need to do, but you get the point. We can always just go that route if we need to. Okay, so it sounded like the workers, or it didn't even sound like it, looked like the workers had finished their jobs. So we need to kind of take care of that. So we're going to take a break here on the green beans. We've got about, around halfway through. Still got a long way to go. But it appears that they've all completed their jobs, and yeah, they have. So oilseed radish is in here, so that's good. Not too concerned with that one anymore. I'm going to leave this out because I have a feeling we're going to be putting this... putting our worker right back on doing this here very, very soon today. We're going to jump into the cotton harvester here. Almost a full bale off this field, and it didn't have any extra fertilization on it. It only had the oilseed radish. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. I love that. Granny's knitwear. Which one needs it more? I guess it doesn't really matter. Both of them, really. I don't know which one's which, so I'm just going to drop it in the first one we come to, and we'll just kind of go from there. Might be worth taking a peek at those eggs, too. There's not many eggs there, but, if we're going to bring something up to the shop and we want to sell it then, we can sell it then, right? Might be worth it. Okay, I always forget how this whole thing works. Bear with me for a minute. Unload unfinished bale. There it is. I thought I did that, but evidently it didn't register it, or maybe I had to click through a couple of menu items to get to that. That very well could have been what it was. All right. That is done. Still don't have anywhere to put this. This is still kind of sitting out in the weather. I don't love that either. So that is definitely something we want to consider here very, very soon as well when we do make a lot of money from this close, is we've got to find something, you know, for this cotton harvester, right? For now, it is what it is. It'll deal with being outside, but ideally we really don't want to keep this big, massive, expensive machine outside, right? Okay, I accidentally just hit the wrong button. Wonderful. There we go. Alright, let it do its thing. And we are going to grab this. We are going to plow up the knife field. We're gonna go ahead and take care of that. It shouldn't take us long to do that. And then I'm gonna put a worker on putting the oilseed radish in there, just like we did with this other field here. And then we'll carry on with the green beans after that's all said and done. So, lots to do today. Very good day, very productive day already. A lot of off-camera work occurred to get us to this point, and yeah, we're looking good, man. We're looking real good. I'm very, very happy with our progress here. The last 2 episodes, we just got to keep going here. Let's get it done. We're almost done here, just this last little bit to go. I think the worker either finished or they're almost finished with the knife field there with the oilseed radish, which is great. I'm not planning to do anything specifically to this field today. I'm going to hold off on doing the... Oh, there you go. So the worker just now finished. So I was going to say they were close if they weren't. They were really close. But anyway, I'm not going to focus on doing anything with this field today. We will focus on that one, honestly, in the next episode. The next episode will be just as busy as this one, as a matter of fact. because we are going to have, like I said, this field is likely going to be ready to harvest. I don't see any reason how it would not be. Same with this field, and then obviously this field, right? Both these fields are going to have oilseed radish, so they're going to need to be plowed up and then drilled, and then obviously we'll have this field to deal with as well. So there's going to be plenty to do. I'm not too concerned about that. Plenty to do, as a matter of fact. The only thing I might say is that I might get this field plowed up maybe off camera. We'll see. If I don't do it, I don't do it, but there's a potential that I might do that. So we're going to put this away, and then the next thing we're going to do, really, is pick up all of these pallets, along with any pallets that we have from the new greenhouses we put in, and we're going to go sell those. Which is going to be great, right? Good money coming out for that, so I'm very happy about that. Might also grab the other trailer while we're at it, as long as they can hook into the back of our auto-load trailers, which it might be able to do, but it probably will be a struggle. Yeah, it very well might be able to do it, but we'll have to look into it. If we can do it easily, then we'll bring that up there and sell it. If not, we'll just wait and do it another time. There will be another time, I'm sure, when we'll go to the shop for one reason or another, whether it's seeds or fertilizer, one thing of that or whatever, and we can go and sell it then. It's not a huge deal. To me, personally, if we have to wait a little bit longer, it's not a big deal. So I do want to look really quick, though, because we did put cotton in here. I want to make sure that the cotton is on. It was not on, so we definitely want to turn that on. So I'm going to put this away, and then we'll grab the other tractor and grab the auto-load trailers, and we'll get started on picking all of this up. Looks like there's going to be about 4 pallets on each one of those. You can see it here from a distance if you look close enough down there. Yeah, it looks like about 4. Maybe we'll get lucky and a 5th one will spawn by the time we get over there, but I highly doubt it. Alright, so let's get started picking these up. And we're selling those pallets back because they're going in a different type of pallets here, so. Okay, why are we not picking that one up? What's going on here? Did you reset it, maybe? Didn't register. There it goes. Yeah, I guess it didn't register for some reason. Didn't like the angle we were at, I suppose. It started to go down, and now it just stopped. For whatever reason. There we go. Alright, perfect. So the green beans are up there. We'll go grab the watermelons and the melons, and we'll see what kind of money we get back. If we get closer to 30,000 again, I'll be very happy. That'll mean that we made some really good progress today. Got a lot of things accomplished, and basically are breaking even. I'm very happy if that's the case. Especially with the fact that I'm not going to have to necessarily worry. Okay, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. I guess this is not a base crop. That's probably the part of the problem here, isn't it? Yeah, they're not a base crop. Okay. Alright, well. I do know these are liftable by hand. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. We'll have to just do it by hand, I guess. I don't even think it's going to let me put them up there, is it? There's like an invisible wall that's happening there. I don't know if you noticed that or not. I think we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. So maybe it's a good thing we didn't sell the other trailer. Now, granted, once we get our money back on these, I might end up going ahead and getting rid of them based off the fact that the auto-load doesn't work for this, because that kind of removes the whole point of this, right? The whole point was to utilize the auto-load. Well, that went well. Use the auto-load for the greenhouses, and that just kind of defeats the purpose, right? So This is going to be probably a situation where once we get our money's worth on these, we're going to remove them. Let's just sell the watermelon for now, since we just found out about this issue. Because there's no straps or anything, so I have a feeling these are gonna fly off anyway. Also, I don't think I mentioned this. I did fix the road over here. Well, the track, the sand track, right? We had started to work on it, but we left it kind of sitting there. It was kind of a bit annoying that I never actually finished doing it, but I did do so now. It has been connected. It is a full track now, so there's no more annoyance from that anymore. That has been resolved. So all right, we got him up here somehow. Miracle, but we got him up here. Okay, so the green beans, let's unload those. All right, yeah, got us right back to where we started, and we did not sell any of the melons. We literally only sold the watermelons. So I'm actually very, very happy with that. And with all of that said, we are going to leave the episode here, gang. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you smashed that like and the subscribe button on the case you've yet to do so. It's by far the easiest and the best and the cheapest. It's free way to help me out and the channel. It really does help out a lot. It really gets this video out to more individuals to potentially watch and see if they're interested in stuff that I'm coming out with. Thanks to each of my members for all of their continued support. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. If you want early access to videos like this one, there's a link down below. Check that out. Become a member on the channel. Support me along with the channel specifically. Second channel, Discord, shop, everything you need. It's linked down below for you. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your support, as always. And we'll catch you in the next one.